The patrons, functionally immortal, godlike beings born from mortality. Whilst their power is immense, they are still bound by the mortal snare of worldly desire and woeful sloth. Bound by this paradox of ascension, they offer power to us fragile creatures who seek their favor and protection. Each boon a fragment of their greatness, and in return these underlings do the patrons' bidding. Not much is known about the patrons, though it seems they began to appear after whatever calamity befell the beforemen, though this information I've gleaned more from the absence of such information. Literature seems like the first tenet of sentience that will break in times of hardship. Such is the life of a humble scholar such as myself. My previous statement may seem like pure lamentation. However, I am glad of their existence, for their power seems to abate the dangers of the outside world. They create pockets of protection by exuding their strength and infusing chosen among their ward with said strength, allowing these to, for a lack of better words, clear out the surroundings. I myself benefit from my proximity to the Shattered Star Guildhall. Although each patron is somewhat unique, I have, for my own ease of reference, grouped them into several types which I shall detail for you now. The Dragons and Worm Kings. We have already met a creature I would class as one of these, Yinragash of the Shattered Star Guildhall. These creatures, as far as I can tell, are the apex life forms of this realm. Their lifespans are theoretically hundreds of thousands of years, although no one I have come across has actually observed an infant of the species. They are anatomically similar to the newer species such as orcs, sporting 6 or even 8-limbed bodies. However, they do not exhibit the same humanoid attributes. These creatures also seem to gain power through accumulated wealth, as well as reverence from those who serve them, their breath being able to exude powerful magical effects. Their guild halls are often centered around accumulation of wealth and prestige to further their goals. Next up, the Carriers. Entities designed by the beforemen, their original purpose appears to have been the birthing of passengers. However, their biology is most confusing, appearing to be not quite animal, but also not quite plant. They secure sustenance in large quantities, and in return can birth new passengers. Their bioengineering, however, does not seem limited to passenger life forms, as some seem to possess the ability to heal or reproduce other species too. One of my favorites, the monoliths. Revered by dwarves, these fragments of once great statues have retained sentience despite their broken forms. They often seek to either rebuild themselves or destroy themselves to attain peace, and they have knowledge of many locations of ancient artifacts and will send their followers out to retrieve these. They seem to dislike the memoriam, as I believe many were actually around during the cataclysms and only permit their followers to use it to further their own goals. The Lycidium. I am unsure whether to categorize these as a subcategory of the monoliths, as they were also once proud beings, tall as redwoods and similar in physical appearance. I have seen depictions of these creatures tending to the natural order of all things. Now, however, these that remain are withered shrubs in comparison. They guide their bloodlines in the pursuit of purifying the land, as this is the only way to stop the spread of corruption. Their bloodlines often consist of elves, and their guild halls are established in the few remaining bastions of natural beauty. The Archivists. Relics of lost innovation, these ancient constructs embody the artistry and intellect of the beforemen, their communication being cryptic and layered, relying on tonal shifts, fractal patterns, or even holographic glyphs. Making accurate translation of such requires a skill mastered by only a rare few. Their knowledge spans a wide array of fields, from alchemy and metallurgy to advanced engineering and biosynthetic chemistry. Despite their brilliance, however, most are incomplete, mere fragments of their original purpose, lost to time, resulting in strange behavior or occasional malfunctions, much the same as remnants. Archivists can fabricate materials and machinery with astounding precision, capable of assembling complex mechanisms in moments without the need for conventional tools. Their guildlings, devoted caretakers and interpreters, are tasked with securing them through exploration, trade, or more desperate means, ensuring the activists remain functional. And now for the final category, a category in which I have not given a name yet. However, I believe it holds some key information into what patrons are, why they exist, and their fundamental links to Memoriam. Some patrons are in fact a collection of the long-dead heroes of their own guild. This fascinates me, as how can such a being exist? What started this chain of ancestry, with each new great hero that dies adding on to the patron? How can this category work? That is what I believe will answer many of my questions around patrons themselves. However, I'm yet to uncover such answers, as these are often fickle to communicate with. Well, there you have all of my known guild types. However, I believe there are most likely many, many more.